Hey y'all, I'm Rylan. Welcome to my channel. It is currently Tuesday, September 23rd, and we are starting a reading vlog to sort of push ourselves through these last several days of the month. I am planning to do a couple different vlogs to wrap up this month because I've got some fun things going on and a 24-hour readathon planned and wanting to wrap up some great books for some readathons, and I thought we'd go ahead and start a weekly vlog to motivate me to pick up these books, to chat about them, to finish them, and hopefully successfully complete a readathon. So this week for this vlog, I will be reading 3 sports romances. These are books for the sports romance readathon that Ellie over at EVMB Creatives on Instagram is hosting via her Discord server. I joined this readathon last minute and have had such a fun time so far. I only have to finish 5 more books to wrap up both bingo boards that she created for the readathon. I finished the main board last week and I'm now working on the bonus board, and I really feel like I might actually be able to successfully finish and wrap up a readathon this month, and we're gonna try to do that. So for today's vlog, for this week's reading vlog, my goal is to read 3 of those books that I need to get to. I'll have the bingo board that I'm working through right now. This is a secret bingo board that unlocks once you complete the original bingo board. By the time this is uploaded, the readathon should be mostly over, so I'm just gonna go ahead and share it right here, and we'll chat about these 3 books that I plan to read. All of them are physical. I've had all of these on my shelves. 2 of them I've had for a while. One of them is a newer purchase for me, and I'm very excited to get to all of these. Let me go ahead and pull up which prompts these books are for just so y'all can see, but we're going to be reading and reviewing these 3 books this week. I think today I'm going to start off with Pucks and Books, which is the book that the host of the readathon, Ellie, picked for me to read for her prompt. So we're gonna start this one today. I do have the audiobook for it on Spotify, which I was very pleasantly surprised to find. I am going to tab this one while I listen to it, and hopefully I can make some pretty good progress in it before I go into work today. And then I will also be reading Heart of Gold by Kirsty Good. I won this book in a giveaway last year. It is signed by the author and stamped, which I think is so fun. This one is a football romance, and I'm reading this one for a prompt that says to read a book that you already own. No idea what this one is about, but I will always enter giveaways, and I love being exposed to new authors, so I'm excited to try this one out. And finally, I'll be reading Rookie Season. This book has been all the rage recently since it released a few weeks ago. This is a closed door hockey romance, and I think it's going to be so much fun. I've heard wonderful things about it, and I've been wanting to read more Fade to Black or closed door romances recently, so I think I might save this one for last this week because it's just my most anticipated, and let's save the best for last. But this is the 3rd book that I will be reading, so we're gonna go ahead and jump into Pucks and Books in just a few minutes. I also met this author last year, so it is signed and personalized to me, and I'm finally picking it up, which I'm very excited about. I love the cover of this book. I think it's so cute. The only downside is that this font is so small, but thankfully I have the audio, and I think it'll still be a pretty quick read. I have been just binging all the sports romances this month, and it's been a great time. I've read hockey romances, tennis romances, soccer romances, and we've just been doing a little bit of everything this month, and it's been great. But we're gonna finish September strong for this readathon. We're gonna read these 3 sports romances this week, and y'all are also going to be getting some glimpses into my life. This will kind of also combo as a week in my life vlog. I only work 6 hours this week, not including yesterday's shift, so kind of a lighter work week for me, so I'm hoping to get a lot done. We're gonna be applying for some jobs, hopefully, cleaning the house while also getting some reading done. So I'll hop back in when I reach the 50% mark in Pucks and Books, and we'll chat then. I'll give you all a synopsis, and we will figure out what my thoughts are for this one so far. I do think that this book takes place in Knoxville, Tennessee, which is where the author lives, I believe, and bases most of her books, and that's where the event was where I met her and got all these books signed by all these different authors. So it was fun. Always love reading a book that's set in my state. I think it's a very enjoyable time, and I'm looking forward to starting this one very shortly. hopping back in with my first update because I am already 50% of the way through Pucks and Books. I started the audiobook as soon as I wrapped up the intro a couple hours ago. I think it's been about 2.5 hours and have been flying through this one. It's not a super long book. The chapters are very short. I am 120 pages in and I'm already on chapter 25. So the pages go by very quickly, which I always appreciate. If I focus, I think I can probably finish this one before I have to go into work in about 2.5 hours. So I think that's going to be my goal, because if I can finish this one up today, that would be one book already checked off this bingo board for the readathon, and that would be more than I was anticipating for today, so I would love that, honestly. I don't typically DNF books, but the thought did cross my mind. However, the further I've gotten into it, the better I think it's flowing. This is a book that starts off like insta-lust, just like that, and that is honestly one of my least favorite tropes. I read romance for the plot, for getting to watch two oftentimes broken but beautiful people fall in love and find their way to each other despite whatever circumstances they are in. And when romances are more smut or spice or sex than plot, I tend to be turned off of that, and that's kind of what has happened with this one. By chapter 4, we're already going at it in a bookstore when you've known each other for about 60 seconds and she doesn't even know his name, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not my jam anymore personally. However, I think we are actually getting somewhere with them actually getting to know each other on a personal level. Our two main characters in this book are Louisa and Kieran. Louisa owns a bookstore in Knoxville. She's kind of been shunned though by the community. Everyone who knows that her romance bookstore is just romance books does not like that and thinks there's something wrong with it. She does not care. She loves her bookstore, loves her space, and Kieran is a hockey player on a minor league team in Knoxville who comes into the shop every Tuesday and Thursday just to pick up and browse the books that she has on her shelves. She does not realize this though until she accidentally runs into him one day that he's been coming into her shop for weeks. I don't know how you missed that, but she did, and immediately they go at it with each other, which I don't love. But both of these characters are growing on me. Both of them have their pasts and the things that they're working through that have made them who they are today. They may or may not be finally getting the chance to overcome their pasts with each other as they start opening up more and communicating and doing all those things. Going out and like being a couple potentially might help that relationship continue to grow. This one is fine. My anticipation for it is 2 stars or 3 stars if we kind of move back into that plot versus just sex scenes. So not my favorite so far, which I'm very bummed about because I guess I didn't really know what to expect going in, but there's just been a lot more of that physical element than I was anticipating, especially starting on page like 15 or 16. It's not my favorite. One thing I do love about this book is that our main male character, who is the hockey player, he's also a romance reader, and I just think that's so cute. And he's grown up around books, loves to read, built his mom libraries. I think that's so wholesome, and I do really like books about books and think that this bookstore setting is very fun. I have the rest of this series. We'll see how this one ends up going, and I might try out the second book eventually and see if I like it more, and if not, I may end up just unhauling this series, as it may or may not end up being for me, unfortunately. But we're gonna keep going. This is a very quick read, of course. It's very bingeable, and now that we're moving more into a plot, I am looking forward to seeing what happens between our two main characters. So I'll hop back in very soon, probably tonight, with an update, and then we'll pick out my next book to read for the week. Good morning, y'all. It is Wednesday, September 24th, and I wanted to hop in with another vlog update because yesterday afternoon I did end up finishing Pucks and Books by Tony Aleo, and I ended up giving this book 2 stars. I am very sad about it, especially because I have the rest of the series on my shelves, but this one was just all smut and no plot for me, and as someone who really likes watching characters' connections as they fall in love, I didn't feel like there was very much of that in this one. I was kind of frustrated with that lack of plot in this one, and even the character admits that she never thought she'd be in an insta-lust or insta-love situation, and that's what happened here, and that is not my jam when it comes to romance. And because of all those things, I just didn't really feel the chemistry between our 2 characters and did not care for this one, unfortunately. So 2 stars to this one. It's another book checked off that bingo board though, which is great, but unfortunately it was not for me. I haven't yet decided what I'm gonna do with the rest of the series. I think I'm going to unhaul them. I'm gonna kind of flip through the other 2 books so that I have up on my shelves, and we'll go from there. But unfortunately, this one was not my favorite. However, because of that book, I think I've decided to swap around my reading plans a little bit and instead read Rookie Season, which is by Katie Bailey and Leah Brunner. This I talked about, hyped it up in my intro. This is a closed door hockey romance. I forgot to mention this, I think, but I will be reading this one for the prompt of reading a book with purple or yellow on the cover, and she's wearing a purple shirt, so we're gonna take it and roll with it. I am very excited about this one. I have been seeing some great reviews for it. It sounds so much fun. Of course, I love hockey romances. They're not all my favorites, naturally, but this one does sound like it's going to be a great time. I do plan to tab this one as well, so I'm going to get my tabs ready for it, and we'll dive into it today at some point. I'll update y'all, of course, as per usual, when I get to 50% in this one, and we'll chat about the synopsis and my current thoughts on the book. Also, on my to-do list for today is to film my October TBR, run to the library, get some writing done, and hopefully find a job or 2 to apply for, read, and I need to work on some laundry. So it's gonna be a productive day. Hopefully I don't go into work again until tomorrow afternoon, so I've got some time to get things done today. We're gonna go to the gym tonight as well, so it's gonna be a productive but also a fun day, hopefully with lots of reading. So I'll hop back in here very soon with my next update, and we'll chat more about Rookie Season, and hopefully this book goes a little bit better than the last one. Good morning, y'all. It is Thursday this week, September 25th, and I'm hopping in here with another update because I am almost to the 50% mark in rookie season. And y'all, I had to pull out my pen and my highlighter for this book because it has been so good. I was going to save this book for last for this vlog, but I definitely needed a pick-me-up, and I'm so glad that I started reading it now instead because I am obsessed. I don't typically get 5-star feelings this early on in books, but if any book is going to be a 5-star, it's going to be this one. I think this book is so fun. I have been highlighting it. I have been writing on the pages a little bit. Nothing super excessive, but when I get the itch to start writing in a book, I know that I'm probably going to end up loving it. I've only had, I think, one 5-star read for this readathon and one 5-star read for the whole month. So if this one is a second 5-star read, I will be so content with that. I don't typically rate books 5 stars, but this one, I kind of have that feeling that it could be a 5-star read for me. To give a quick synopsis, since I've already raved about this book, this is about our two main characters, Allegra, who goes by Allie, and Noah. Allie went through something during her last semester of college and ends up dropping out of school before her final year and a half, I think, and moves out to San Francisco. She has this old friend from her college who lives out there now. He plays hockey and he offers to let her live in his 4-bedroom apartment with him and his 2 hockey roommates. And when she moves in, before she even moves in, she ends up meeting one of her roommates accidentally, and they do not get along. He is very grumpy. His name is Noah. He's a rookie on the NHL team in the city, and she's very bubbly and sunshine, and they just kind of butt heads. It's so fun to watch, honestly. I love the grumpy sunshine trope. This one, it captures it so well. I love the setting. I love our two main characters. I love exploring and learning more about them. I think their relationship is just so funny, and I'm excited to watch their walls fall down around each other and their chemistry to grow. I think the side characters in this book are so cute, and I'm hoping that these other hockey players get their stories if this becomes a series, because I would love to see more of all of these characters that we've only seen for 120 pages so far, but I have kind of fallen in love with. Genuinely so much fun. I thought I would like it just based around all the hype around it, but I'm so glad that I ended up picking it up a little bit earlier than I had anticipated this week. Will I finish it today? That is my goal. I go into work in a couple hours, but I have some free time until then. We've also got plans tonight, but I'm hoping that once we get home, I can sit down and keep reading this. If I don't finish it today, my goal is to finish it tomorrow morning before my sister comes into town, and hopefully we can also knock out our football romance before the weekend is over. Today I want to get some writing done, work on some laundry because I have a load in the dryer right now, keep reading this book, obviously, and maybe clean our bathroom. So we got a lot to get done before I go into work, but it's gonna be great, and I'll hop back in here once I finish up rookie season. Happy Friday, y'all. We are officially at the weekend, and I have a pretty big update for you guys because yesterday evening I finished rookie season, and I'm very happy to announce that this is officially my second 5-star read of September and my second 5-star read for this readathon. I absolutely loved this book. This, as I talked about in the first clip about it, follows our main characters Allegra and Noah, and I found out at the end of this book that Allie's parents and Noah's sister and brother-in-law have their own book, so this is like a second generation story, and I'm definitely going to go check out these family member stories now because this one was just so cute. It was hilarious. It had me giggling. The friendships and the found family were so well done in this one. I loved the chemistry between our main characters. I was writing in this book and highlighting lines, and I just overall genuinely fell in love with it, and I'm so glad that I picked it up. If you're looking for something that's very low steam, we have some tension and buildup in this one, but nothing explicit, and I really appreciated that. I loved the focus on hockey and dance in this one as well, and honestly, I just thought it was the best time, and I'm so happy to pick it up. I did end up starting my final book for this vlog this morning on my Kindle because I had a hair appointment, so I brought my Kindle with me to that and started this one, and I'm already almost 120 pages into it. I decided to, before the appointment, try out the book to see if I wanted to bring my physical copy and tab it with me, but after reading the first few chapters, I didn't quite feel that I needed to tab this one, so I'm just reading it, having a fun time so far. Not my favorite romance by any means, but it is very enjoyable, and I'm excited to see where it goes. This is a football romance about our two main characters, Quinn and Gavin. They meet on a cruise before the school year even starts. They are both about to be freshmen at a college, and they have a one-night stand on this cruise ship, which I don't know what's up with all these books and like the Insta connection recently, but we have that in here as well. When they had their day together on the cruise, they did not know each other's real name, where they went to school and things like that. So they have just now figured out that the other one goes to the same university, and there's some drama with Quinn and her ex, who is also there. She is battling through some hard things as well with her family life, and Gavin is also at this college with his brother Levi, who used to play football but is now no longer able to, and there's some underlying struggles with that going on as well. And so far it's fine. I'm not obsessed with it by any means, but I can see this one being a 3 or a 3.5 star read. We'll see how the rest of it goes. I am hoping to binge this one before the night is over. We will see, but my sister is on her way into town, and so I need to go get her room prepped for the weekend and make sure the bathroom is ready to go for her. We're also making homemade pizza, so I cleaned our pizza stone that we have so we can use that tonight. Like, I just made it damp with a cloth, and need to let that dry so we can cook our dough on it tonight. And yeah, we're just gonna start getting some stuff done now that I'm back from my hair appointment. They always take several hours, but it's very much worth it in the end. So we're gonna go ahead and get moving into things. I have been listening to this one on Kindle Unlimited because I've just been doing the assistive reader mode while I'm like doing stuff. When I'm sitting down, I'm just reading with my eyeballs, so I'll probably pop that in while I work on some stuff, and we'll chat again once I wrap up this book. But I do feel like this week has been very productive, both in terms of reading and doing stuff around the house. I did apply to a couple jobs, have been able to get some writing done for a little personal project that I'm doing, and have been able to do a bunch of other things as well. So feeling pretty good about this week, and hopefully we wrap up tonight and tomorrow strong to finish up this weekly reading vlog where we live in my life a little bit and read a bunch of sports romances. So I'll hop back in here very soon with an update, and we will chat more to wrap things up. Saturday. I wanted to hop in here with an official wrap up because yesterday I did finish reading Heart of Gold by Kirsty Good, and I ended up giving this one 3 stars. I think my biggest issue with this book is that personally, I don't love when romance plots focus so highly on an ex who is still somehow involved in one of the characters' lives, and that is very much in play throughout this entire book. Their major conflict stems over and over again from this ex who is trying to worm his way back into Quinn's life. And it's not that she's still in love with him by any means, but she is still so tangled up with him. It kind of gave love triangle vibes, even though she wanted to be with Gavin. But I just wasn't a huge fan of how almost all of the drama and all of the conflict stemmed from this ex, and I felt like it took away from the main relationship and allowing Quinn and Gavin to get to know each other better and to spend more time together and to really have that chemistry and bond be formed, because the ex was just a huge part of the story. I did like it though. I am going to keep it on my shelves. I did read a huge chunk of it on my Kindle, and I am okay with the fact that I didn't end up tabbing this one. I will probably check out more from this author in the future. The writing was very fun. It was very easy and engaging, but I think just some of those tropes or plot points ended up frustrating me and took away from some of my overall satisfaction by the end of the book. But I did like it, and I would read more by this author. It is Saturday. I need to start preparing for other reading plans that I have before the month is over. I want to do one more vlog over the course of a 48-hour period for a special thing that I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this week of reading sports romances. I am still planning to binge my last couple sports romances before the weekend is over. It's going to be a lot to do, but I'm going to do that while working on my plans for the last couple of days of the month. So to give a quick wrap up for this vlog, I read Pucks and Books by Tony Aleo and gave this one 2 stars. I read this one for the host pick prompt for the Sports Romance Readathon hosted by Ellie. I also read Rookie Season by Katie Bailey and Leah Brenner and gave this one 5 stars. One of my favorite books of 2025 for sure. And I read this book for a cover with purple or yellow on it. And then finally, of course, I read Heart of Gold for the book you already own prompt, and I gave this one 3 stars. I did enjoy it, and I will check out more from this author in the future. I do have one of her Christmas novellas that she sent to me as well when I won this giveaway, so I'll be reading that at some point in the near future as well. 3 more prompts for that bonus bingo board have now been fulfilled, and I'll be spending the rest of the weekend completing this board. My sister's in town right now though, and we've got a lot of stuff going on, so my reading is going to be a little bit all over the place, and the week is pretty much over already, so we're wrapping up this vlog. Thank you so much for joining me while I picked up some fun romances. Make sure to comment a football or a hockey stick if you made it to the end of this vlog. I appreciate your support. That's all that I have for today's video though. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one.